Hi guys, it's ShishKebabber1 coming right back at you with another Boom Beach video. Today's video, guys, we got some more breaking news. That's why you're getting a video so fast from me. We have heard something from Supercell. It's amazing, thank you. Let's not waste any time, let's jump right into it. My good friend Papucho gave me this. It was a screenshot from some posts that made their way to Reddit earlier this afternoon. And these posts were a collection or a summary of discussions that happened between people on Discord with Rick C. So he's back on the job, guys. I think that's what this means. He's officially back on the job, and he's talking. And here's what he's saying, okay? We're going to go through all of this. I know you can read for yourself, but I want to just go through this. A lot of you guys probably haven't seen this, so here it is. So at the top of this message, it's saying, on Discord, a bunch of us just had a chat with Rick C. He said the team just submitted an updated client to the app stores. I'm not sure exactly when. I'd assume either today or yesterday, but the app stores can take 2 to 3 days, guys, to approve it, but they can also take longer, so it may be here in time for the crab. Maybe. That's the really key point right here. Fingers crossed for the crab. Please, please. But I'm assuming that this also probably had to go to the iPhone store as well, because if it's an update that fixes all these problems we're going to get into, you got to do it on both phones. I just thought about that, but whatever, let's keep going. So yeah, maybe here for the crab, maybe not. I was kind of already setting my expectations for a buggy crab, but I think they might have a last minute inoculation on the way here. But here's the bullet point from the summary, okay? Issues fixed, chest timers, and they didn't speak specifically about troop training timers. So that's off the books right now. It sounds like they're still keeping the same levels for troop training timers, because at least it wasn't discussed. I think they had to go through a priority list, and you'll see that they really hit the big ones that I've been talking about for the most part. So chest timers, they say, are fixed. That is awesome, amazing. So we can all get tech at the same rate, or have the same chance at getting our daily tech. That's awesome, glad to hear. Operation Zoom. You guys are going to love that. Everybody's going to love that, in fact, because even crabbers need that too. It can affect some of your crab hits as well. So it sounds like the Zoom bug is fixed. That is fantastic. Android notifications causing crashes, also fixed. So again, awesome. They're hitting all the big ones, guys. Replay issues caused by players changing troops while scouting. Awesome. We've talked about that. We talked about that one quite a bit. Legendary 10 rank. Game crashes when they gain more stars. I mentioned that a couple videos ago and kind of like chuckled a bit because it's for all the guys in the dark meta. But it's a real problem because when the dark meta is gone for the next season, that could just be the best players in the game, so to speak. And you don't want to have that latent bug in there. So that was a very important one for them to address. Plus, it just made for a very unstable game all around. Let's see. Op boat's missing for some players. Yeah, this is happening on some rare occasion. I knew about it too. If people were inside of the Warships mode fighting, when the op boat arrives, the op boat would still not come. So apparently that's fixed. Let's move over to the next part. They say no season in progress error. Yeah, this would always happen when you were getting attacked, when you were interrupted from an attack while you were online, and when you came back, you would usually get a no season in progress error. And yeah, like they say, you could usually fix it by restarting your game client. However, some had to reinstall it. Oof, I didn't hear about that part of it. So anyway, that should be fixed. That's great. And now they say Mega Crab had randomly differing layouts. Okay, well, good, that's fixed, but not till this update hits. What if this update hits, like, after Mega Crab already starts in New Zealand? Do we still have multiple Mega Crab spawns, or are only some people's Mega Crabs going to have multiple levels? This one worries me. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that it hits before the New Zealand Mega Crab drops, okay? Because I think that's what we're really crossing our fingers for here. I think they really came down to the deadline on this submittal. But they had a lot on their plates, so I give them that. I mean, there's no easy task here. And then, hey, check it out. Even at the end, though, they say the deployed mine's not automatically upgrading. That's also been fixed. Remember, I just mentioned that to you guys, I think, in my last video with the Warriors. Changes. Now, here's the changes section. Oh, okay, so first of all, well, let's just keep going. Let's keep going. Changes. They say time chests are now based on engine rooms destroyed. It should be 8 engine rooms to get 1 chest. So that's totally different. So it's not a matter of stars. I think they're trying to reduce the incentive for people to lose rank. I think that's what they're going for here. So instead of basing it on stars, they just want people to actually attack engine rooms so that it's like more of a competitive match. And I think in this regard, that's a step in the right direction. I see where they're going. I don't think it's going to take us all the way where we need to go because I still envision a cycle for players that have that do not have instant training. Because I've been listening to you guys. I think what'll happen is when you're just farming for ERs, because that's what you'll be doing now, instead of farming for stars, you're going to be farming for engine rooms. One of the plays might be just to send as much gunboat energy as you can on one exposed engine room, and then just send in enough troops to clear enough stuff to get enough GBE to finish off that engine room and then retreat. Because, hey, you got an engine room and it didn't cost you very many troops. I can also see there being a high earned value for non-instant training players on abilities like GBE and like barrage and artillery, just to help aid in that process. And then what they would do is, they take one engine room. Depending on their opponent, they may win or they may lose. Odds are they're going to lose because if their opponent's playing like for real, like really trying to attack, they're going to hopefully take more than one engine room and also have more of a destruction damage, right? So that'll push them down the ranks, and then eventually they'll still meet up with opponents that are very underranked. And I think at that point, the proper strategy is for a non-instant training player is to then drop all your troops and try to get all the engine rooms. So I think you're still going to see those David and Goliath matches a bit, but I still think this is better, and it's a step in the right direction. And because, later on they're going to tell us that Season 2 is also kind of like a beta, guys. So because of that, I think it's a good way to just test it and see how it influences. So I like the fact that they're thinking about that, okay? But I don't think it's the perfect solution, but I don't have one either, to be honest. So I like that. Okay, let's see. They're saying, wrong way. You will be able to see your boosts of your warship's opponents. So that's really good because I'm spending all the time trying to calculate how much building health and defensive building damage they have. That wastes time from that 1 minute prep time trying to do all that math. It's a quality of life thing, so that's really good. And I think they'd mentioned they thought that was in there to begin with, so I think that should have already been there. Something I knew they were thinking about it before. Doesn't matter though; it's there now. And when they say boosts, I wonder if they mean offensive and defensive or just defensive. Because it'd be nice to know their offensive stats too. I like to know, how much juice that other player has when they're taking out my base. It helps me strategize and tune my base appropriately. And this is really important. Check this out here. Last one. I take advantage of this quite a bit. Matchmaking will account for number of engine rooms unlocked, not just placed. Notice they're not calling it a bug or anything. It's a change. So they're changing that. I support that, and I really like how they've gone about this in a sense because they're just simply updating the matchmaking parameter to account for the ones unlocked and not dropped. I like the fact that they're not necessarily saying they're forcing us to drop them because there still could possibly be some strategic value by doing this. Don't worry about it. But I like the fact that they're still allowing that as an avenue to explore in the how we go down the tech tree. So I like the fact that they're still leaving that in there. They're leaving some variety of choice in there. I think by how I read it. So I really like that. And yeah, I thought it wasn't quite right to the way matchmaking does. They need to tweak it. They need to make more fair matchmaking, and that's again, I think it needs to be more at tech level. But again, basing it on people that number of ERs unlocked and not dropped is also a step in the right direction because that's also going to start to give you an indication of their tech level range, and it'll also prevent you from trying to rush ahead because it's really going to face you against people with much higher tech. So it'll really kind of put a kibosh on the whole strategy, but it's still there to play with a little bit if you want. So I like the fact they're not closing the door on it completely. So that's really cool. I like it when they can make changes like that. Miscellaneous notes. The cost for rocket launcher level 3 was discussed a bit. They may change the cost in the future. I'm not sure how the game is thinking of it. I think that's a very important upgrade, and it does cost a lot, and it costs a lot for a reason. So it probably is like it's probably its own little artificial meta breaker or its own little meta wall thing because unlocking those rockets is really big. That was one of the things I was rushing for on defense. It's one of the ways I was able to get to rank 21 with just 3 engine rooms. So something to think about, something I haven't even thought too much about either. I've had a lot of other stuff to think about, as have they, right? So that's why they haven't done anything. But they're still thinking, and that's great. Let's see. They're aware of the issue with people just barting down engine rooms at the beginning of the season. They may consider some sort of change. You guys know BART means barrage plus artillery, just in case you don't know. They're aware of the issue with people just barting down ERs at the beginning of the season. They may consider some sort of change, but that is in the hands of the development team. Yeah, because it's a really cheesy way to win. Some of my first videos were showing how I could do those tactics, and it Anyone could do it. Like, really, you just have to save up a little bit and move through the tech tree, and you can just sit there and do that, and it's not fun. I pointed that out early on, so that's good that they're thinking about it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I think the other notes over here. They're saying they know of only a few players who exploited the chest glitch. No specific word if anything will happen to them. I assume this will mean all of us will get credit for upgrades done or tokens unlocked. However, I'm not sure if we discussed if people get credit for just upgrades done. This would penalize lower HQ players who are locked out of engine rooms and upgrades that come after. So this sounds like no reset. That's what that says. If that's what these words are saying here, that means they're not going to start us off all at the same level of progress. But don't fret yet. Here's what they say now here at the end. They say next season will also be a 1 month season. That's new information. Think of seasons 1 and 2 as test seasons, or you can take out the word test, insert beta, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. Okay, cool. So actually, we're going into a beta 2. So I can understand actually why you might not want to reset, because if we're still going to be considered in like a beta 2, it's also some interesting things to see what happens during that transition and what issues can arise, okay, outside of the fact that we've got a lot of people that are overranked, right? So for that reason alone, I'm actually on board with this now, but it's only because they've redefined what Season 2 will be. Season 2 is basically a second beta. Now, they also say they're looking at Season 3 as the first real season, so to speak. So my hope is that after we go through Beta 1 and Beta 2, and as we're approaching the end of Beta 2, or Test 2, whatever you want to call it, that we'll have a better perspective on where things are in the game, and we'll have a better judgment call as to whether we think at that time we're still going to call for a reset. Personally, I think yes. And let me tell you what they missed in all of this, guys. Do you know what they missed? Do you know what they missed? What have I been talking to you guys about so much in all my videos? Artificial star creation. Nowhere in this did they address it at all. And let me tell you, they'll figure this out in Beta 2. Mark my words. Mark my words. It's too big for them not to see it by that point. So what basically happens here is that no matter what, let's go back to these charts real quick. Okay, when people got way out on these charts, trash all that junk. What color am I using? Give me a red line. Okay. People were expanding down the stars. They were just getting more and more stars. But how were they doing that, guys? Guess what? You see tech over here? Well, I can just cross that anyway. It had nothing to do with tech. Even though you have these guys that created the wave or the wall of exploitation, that's not how they reached Legendary 10, guys. Think about it. The only way they reached it was by battling amongst themselves. Okay, they had their own same relative tech levels. What it was the artificial creation of stars. That's what pushed everybody to Legendary 10. The thing is, that all happened within the first week of Season 1. I'm gonna guess you see Legendary 10. I should be conservative and just say within the first week of Season 2. But it's going to be faster than that because there's an acceleration, there's a feedback loop occurring here. I'm going to say within the first 3 days. Within the first 3 days of Season 2, you'll have your first Legendary 10. Maybe even the first day, but let's say 3. Let's say 3. Because what's creating that, and that's, I guarantee, not part of the design, is those artificial stars. And unfortunately, there was nothing in there, let me trash all that. There was nothing in there that mentioned changing win streak bonuses or changing the bonus star for your first win, and those gotta go. But they'll see it more. They'll see it more. And let me tell you this, guys. There's some big implications from this, and I want to tell you what this means strategically. Okay, it's really important that you saw. I guess it was 2 videos ago where I was explaining all this chart junk. We can get back on the warship though. Oh no, we probably need to stay on the chart. Yeah, like I was saying when I did that whole rubber band analogy and all that stuff, guys. There's a very important concept in that. That says that when you're at the start of it, when you're at the top at the beginning, you're going to ride that inflation wave much faster than everybody else. And that's how you reach Legendary 10. What this also means is that those people that do start with that advantage have more of an advantage than meets the eye, because they will have the ability to ride that expansion wave more quickly because they're at the top of it. And what that then means for us is that it's very, very important in Season 1, the season we're in right now, to push as far as we can. In fact, your goal for Season 1, guys and gals, should be to reach Legendary 10, because we need to get to that point in order to start on the same level with them, in order to wipe out all of the influences that happened. If that manages to happen, which it actually could, then we would, in a way, erase a lot of the bad things that have happened in the first season. However, there's still a big, huge problem with star inflation because if we just start where we are again at the end of Beta 2, I think we'll have even more people that will have reached Legendary 10, and it'll be kind of like a joke, like everyone just a race to Legendary 10 and it makes it a grind and all that stuff. They'll see it, I'm pretty sure, but we're going into a Beta 2, so the best thing you can do is push. And I guess the message I want to get to you guys is I think we can do something about this. I am going to be measuring, like I told you, I will be measuring data again to get another snapshot of this wave, of the wave of exploitation. Remember, it was like right here. And I tell you guys it moves forward with time. Well, one of the things that can move forward with time, this is very important, is all of our lovely artificial star creation on this side. And you know what this data tells me, guys? All of your dots over here, all of you lovely individuals who spoke with me and told me and gave me this data, there's a lot more of us on this side than these guys over here. And what this means is we can create enough pressure to actually push that wave all the way to Legendary 10. And if we're able to do that by the end of this season, missed a dot right there. If we're able to do that all the way by the end of by the end of the season, you will have this population of lovely individuals clamoring for Legendary 10. And that's exactly what we should be doing, because that guarantees us to have a fresh and equal start in the next season. So my advice to you is, if you can, for the last week of the season, grind, push, try to get on win streaks, create those stars. It happens naturally, but we can create a very high rate of artificial star generation. This will happen naturally on its own, trust me. This happens in any tournament setup. It's always the last week that's a push and a grind, except this one's a little bit different because in that process, there's also a lot of like artificial stars being created. That can create a pressure and a force that pushes this wave forward. And we can push it all the way out. Let's do it, guys. Are you with me? But hey, that's some really good news. And again, as always, stay tuned here. We're not doing any gameplay. It's just news, breaking news information. But yeah, always stay tuned here for the updated information on Warships. I'm always trying to give you the high-level stuff, at least as I think of it. And remember, guys, be kind to others, because if you're not, you're just being mean, and mean people suck. Have a great day.